an architect. Hi, my name is Anup, and I'm an architect. Currently running my own studio in Gurugram. I'm born and brought up in Delhi only. So that's a little about me.
Yeah. So how's your working experience till now?
Working experience has been primarily fine. I have worked under three firms, and after that, I did my master's, and after that, I started my own. So the journey has been great, uh, quite interesting. It paves its own path. You start from somewhere and you end up somewhere else, and that's what happened to me. That's
Yeah. Okay. So a very good morning to everyone who is present in this webinar. I am Assistant Professor Tapati. Would like to introduce you to the Geetam School of Architecture Webinar Series 2023. Okay, so it's themed based on the successful careers in architecture that has been organized by Geetam School of Architecture, Hyderabad, Visakhapatnam, for the prospective students of architecture, their parents, guardians, and mentors. The series consists of webinars given by prominent working architects on diverse themes every Saturday and Sunday. So with indeed honor, I would like to introduce my colleagues, Associate Professor Shaman sir, assistant professors, and then again, the students who are present in the workshop. So it's time to introduce our guest speaker today, Architect Anup Krishan, who is the presenter of today's webinar. So a brief biographical information here. Anup is the founder and CEO of Expastudio. It's an experiential architectural and interior design firm which is based on Gurgaon. The main focus of Anup's work is creating experience through spatial designs. He graduated his BArch from University School of Architecture and Planning and his master's from Sushant School of Art and Architecture. So now I invite Architect Anup to talk about himself, his projects that we are so eagerly waiting for. So yes, Anup, you can start.
Hi,
and share
good
must be.
morning.
Sure.
This is Shamant here.
Yeah, one moment. I will give you the... Yes, sir, Shaman, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Good morning, Anup. We welcome you to the webinar.
Morning.
I'm
How are you?
Shamant here, associate professor. Actually, thoda meko like there's a network issue, but I'm listening to the webinar. I'll just switch on my camera in a few minutes.
So first of all, this is not about being a successful career in architecture. It's about building a successful career in architecture. That's the primary iteration that I would like to make in this. We are successful than we were last year, and it's a long way to go. So I'll just start with my own interest. How did my interest grew towards architecture? So my dad is a civil engineer. He used to work in DDA, Delhi Development Authority, and but my uh, how my childhood went was I used to go to sites, construction sites, and that's where I primarily got interested into the world of construction and architecture and all. And I did not really like pursue civil engineering. That was the primary plan. So someone just introduced architecture to me, and when I went for the NATA training, which is the entrance aptitude test for architecture, I got to know that I do have art inside me as well. I was not aware of that. I was primarily a sports person before that. So the sketching and all and colors and all, I got to know that yes, I can do this as well. And I kind of fell in love with that side of me. So that's when architecture became the primary focus of my life. And after that, I did my bachelor's degree. And there I learned more about the functionality side in the architecture perspective. And there was different subjects, climatology, arts and graphics. So it was a good blend of engineering and art as well. So that was like the best decision till now to go through this. And I was also very interested in photography, music, and sketching, doodling, and all. So all that kind of accumulated and uh, created a good balance in my life that I am doing engineering as well. I'm doing arts and as well. I'm into photography as well. So that's about my educational background. I did my bachelor's from USAP CSIPU. After that, I enrolled myself into masters, and during that master's degree in interiors, I also did a business management course, which is very important in terms when you want to. Uh, Someone is joining, Sneha Reddy.
Yeah, I will admit those who are joining. You can just keep on speaking.
Yeah, please take care of that. So business management is very important to understand because architecture colleges do not primarily focus on any side of it, and that is a huge gap in the education system of architecture. We are not taught anything about business, and so that was also a good blend for me. So I, after my bachelor's, I did my internship in a firm in CR Park, Delhi, where I was working on architecture and interior projects. And before that, I was only focused on architecture. But when I uh, got in touch with the interiors part and the spatial design, how it can really impact the mood and well-being of the user, I got more interested into interiors. But I did not have any formal education in that, and I understood that there is more to that. Uh, there's more to interiors where, and my knowledge was primarily based on my boss's uh, knowledge and what they imparted to me. I thought that there's something more to that. So I enrolled into Masters in Interior Architecture after that. And that's how I kind of transitioned from being pure architect into being a pure interior designer. So connection with art and architecture. Like this was some of the photograph that I took, and that's how I felt more connected to architecture. I would go to places, I would click and I would frame it in a way that it looks good. Even this photography skill also helps with, you in attaining clients as well. I'll talk very practically. The frame of the whole architecture model or interior model, whatever you call it, is very important. So that's how I kind of found it very helpful. And the color play, the light and shadow, the balance between the whole thing. So that is very important to understand. And this particular skill helped me a lot. Uh, this was my work experience. The first one is the internship and fresher architect job where I kind of got interested into our interiors. We worked on private residential and commercial projects. After that, I did my master's, and after that, I worked at Limba and Associates as an associate architect, where we worked on government architecture projects and competitions. So that's where I knew that I am not looking for this. So I worked for a very short period and I kind of switched to Chrome Design Studio, where I worked on commercial interior projects and all. That's that also was a very good exposure in terms of design and whole management. So all these firms are mid-sized firms. They are not small firms. These are not very large firms. So I kind of understood the hierarchical system as well, and I also was given responsibility so that I can manage things on my own. I was given quite some freedom. At Novak Architects, I used to handle projects on my own only, and at Limba and Associates, I my primary project was Bihar Bhavan it was a design competition for Bihar Bhavan in Delhi. So the whole project was designed by me, and I think we came fourth nationally, although we did not get the project, but that was a huge confidence booster for me. At Chrome Design Studio, I worked for a very small time because of COVID. The COVID happened, before happened, and after that, I shifted to Gurugram, and I kind of made a quick decision to start my own studio. In 2022, after COVID, I think it was August or September, Expastudio was formed. And I did not have any project with me. I did not have any portfolio with me. I had worked in a few firms, but uh, and I had worked for a few freelance projects as well. But at that point of time, those were not the projects that I would showcase and I would see the clients. So I kind of created my own portfolio. I kind of all these are hypothetical projects that you're saying. All are hypothetical. So this basic homework is very important in terms of showcasing what you can do. The clients only want that. And it was, I think, 2021 that we registered Express Studio as a private limited firm. That's when the actual birthday of Express Studio is. So 2021, we did a lot of office projects, rental offices and private offices, residences, cafes. So that was the time when we were experimenting a lot. We did banquets, we did architecture projects as well. So 2021 was quite experimental. That's when we knew what we can do. Like we got a lot of appreciation from clients, we got a lot of appreciation from colleagues and all. So that was a good year. In 2022, we kind of switched uh, towards residential more. I think it happened naturally, whatever comes your way. But the size and the scale and the kind of creative freedom that we were getting, which was very crucial in especially in early years, so that you can build a good portfolio. That was very important. We had the opportunity to receive them from our clients. I was very adamant on getting either a good fees or a good creative freedom. So that was the two primary uh, elements that I looked upon while working. In 2023, again, we are expanding in terms of scale and the kind of creative elements that we are putting into the whole thing. So these are my projects till now. It's a farmhouse on the top left. On the top right, it's a private residence. So it happens very gradually. It happens very uh, naturally for me that projects come and you just work on there. Right now, we are studying a bit on ourselves and we are trying to find a niche, but uh, frankly, I don't want to get into a niche. I want to design everything, and I I kind of enjoy everything. So that's something that we are kind of struggling with, how to define a niche for ourselves, and that's what I would ask the students as well. That uh, it's not very important to get a niche. Everybody is saying find a niche and work on that. Why do you want to find a niche? You can design everything, and I have designed kiosks as well. I've designed uh, larger projects as well. That's how it goes. So yeah, that's something about it. Do you have any questions?
Yes. So I would request students, if you have any question, you can just unmute yourself and ask. Otherwise, you can post it on the question box also. So before students start asking their questions, I would like to know that you have worked in government projects, right? And also on commercial projects.
Yeah,
Yeah. So what's the biggest
exactly.
difference that you find while working in the government project and in the commercial project? The scale and all.
Government projects, first of all, scale. Yes, government projects are not small in scale. And the primary focus in government projects is not the design. It's never the
Hmm.
design. It's about
Yes.
management and ease of getting onto the next stage. For example, we created a design. Now the next step was getting the BOQ approved from CBWD. And that was a very huge task that we had to go through. It was a 3 months exercise along with the executive engineers, assistant engineers, and junior engineers. We all sat down and kind of worked on that. that that transition from one stage to another is a huge task in government projects. So that's what I understood. And yes, the pay is very good. It's commercially, yes, it's absolutely amazing to do those. But I am more interested in something that I can focus and I can focus on design perspective. So I kind of avoid government projects somewhere down the line when we are, uh, when we are more experienced in terms of getting the projects and all, in terms of government environment, then we can think of it because there's also something called age of the firm, and that is very important in terms of getting government projects. They weigh the firm in terms of working experience, and we are just 2 years old. So that's about it.
Okay, students, if you have any questions, you can just ask directly. Anyone else, if they have any questions or anything they have to add? I think, yeah, students understood your presentation. I think they don't have any doubts, much to ask. So, yeah, tell me, ki how's your, I mean, how do you came down to this specific term ki you need to have an experiential kind of a design firm? You are designing for the experiences, right?
So
Yeah.
I told you, na, ki, I was primarily focused on architecture, but when I got introduced towards interiors, and my knowledge was basically coming from my boss's knowledge about interiors only, I kind of understood that I need a formal education in interiors, and I kind of enrolled myself in interior architecture. And that's when I got good mentors who kind of opened up my brains in terms of what all I can achieve. And after that, when I worked at Chrome Design Studio, that was also a good exposure in terms of getting. Matlab, there I understood that you can design anything, like you can do anything. So you are not restricted by anything, and that's something that I do implement in my own practice.
Okay,
We
yes.
go bonkers in terms of choosing the colors, and we were experimenting things. That's how it goes. But formal education, yes, it's important. I have seen the difference between the person who does not have any formal education in interiors and how they design interiors. Yes, some are naturally talented, but then again, every architect nowadays is doing interiors, and it's very important to distinguish yourself in the style and the kind of character that you bring to the people.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much. Shaman sir, would you like to add something? You were saying something before we started it.
I was just saying welcome to Anup. One thing what I would like to know, or like let the students know, you had done a 2 years master's program in management, right? How does that was a
It was a 3 months course. It was a certificate course in business management from IIT Delhi.
so how does that matlab, see as a budding architect, right? There are already settled architects here. How did you get your first project, and how do you manage your accounts in terms of finances or in terms of fees? What sort of a hurdle you get when you need to get fees from the client? Because we I am I'm into architecture since 25 years. Then how we know the hard things, how we used to get the fees. But now, how does that work for you in terms of how do you get the payments from clients? What sort of tip you wanted to give to the budding architects if they have to get into practice? Because whatever we did are old age techniques, but now you have a new way of making the payment at the same time getting the quality of the design.
The only tip for the budding student that I even went uh, to myself was, don't underestimate your skills. Don't run behind the clients. Don't, uh, you know, uh, don't charge less. So in terms of accounts, yes, in that course, I was taught everything about financial accounting, and I have acquired the knowledge about all the P&L and all that. But I don't really uh, manage that on my own. I have my own company secretary that does that. I just have to overlook on them, and that's all the information that I need. I know how to overlook, and I know how to detect any error that he or she might make. That is very important. I don't have to do it myself, but I have to attain that knowledge to detect any error in that. That is very important. If I do everything myself, in terms of accounting, in terms of GST filing, in terms of uh, director KYC and all, because mine is a private limited and it has a lot of compliances as compared to sole proprietorship. So it's a real havoc in those terms. So all that is controlled by my own company secretary. I just overlook and do all that. In terms of getting payments, create that polarity in your design portfolio and let them understand your importance and let them understand what you can do to their space and how you can impact their life. That is very important. People pay for that, not an issue.
Okay.
So early on, I did projects with very less fees, and because I was very new, I did not have any portfolio. I did not start in the city that I grew in. I started in a fresh city. I started uh, in Gurugram, and I did not have any projects through my family. I did not do. I don't do family wala projects. So it was very difficult. I think, for to get the first project, we kind of made around 30 proposals. Yes, around 30 proposals. That was when we was mainly struggling to get projects because we did not have a portfolio. We didn't have any connects. So yeah.
Okay.
Okay, there is one question for you, Anup. Okay, no, it's not a question. It's thanks from my colleague, architect Sankitna ma'am. She is very thankful. You took a time to give a webinar to our students. Yeah. So if okay, I think we can move forward. So I want to thank everyone who participated in the webinar today, including the participants, our esteemed guest speaker, and my colleagues, Associate Professor Shaman sir. Okay, and yes, so the webinar has come to an end, and on behalf of Geetam School of Architecture, I would like to thank our speaker for today's presentation, as well as the faculty of Hyderabad School of Architecture who have joined today. So, Shaman sir, would you like to give the vote of thanks?
Yeah, thank you, Anup, for your time to enlighten our students in terms of architecture career. Yeah, you had pointed out two good points. One is how to start a project and how do you think big is one thing, and not uh, one architect cannot do multidisciplinary tasks where like you need to have your own specifics or verticals to take care of the job. That was a good takeaway for the students. Thank you very much for your time. We future also, if like for any other series or any webinars which we go, we would like to see you again. Thank you very much from Geetam School of
You
Architecture.
most welcome. Most welcome.
Yeah. Yes, so coming to an end, I would also like to wish all the participants, students success in the future. So yes, before we break for the day, I would also like to again remind people that we are having this continuous webinar series on every Saturday and Sunday. And we will bring more people who will speak to you, who can showcase their work to you. So I would advise all the students to please join this Saturday and Sunday webinar. Okay, thank you, Anup. Thanks a lot for today.
Sure. Same here.
Yes. Okay, let's break for today. Yes, thank you.